So billionaire Ken Langone went after Bernie with Maria Bartiromo, and this is just as bad as you thought. These guys really have this persecution complex, and it's hilarious because they're billionaires. They're the opposite of victims. But this happened with another billionaire, Schwartzman, and Schwartzman argued under the Obama administration when Obama said he wanted to raise taxes on Wall Street. He said, this is like in 1939 when Hitler started taking other countries. Dude, you can't make that argument. You got billions of dollars. Like, reel it in a little bit. You're not a victim. Raising taxes on you is perfectly reasonable, and you're still going to have more money than you know what to do with. But anyway, here's Ken Langone, I believe founder of Home Depot and billionaire, going after Bernie.
Sanders the other day said the U.S. should not have billionaires. No more billionaires.
You're going to shoot me?
Now, there are an increasing number of billionaires in China. So is that what we want? Do we want all the money to go to China and the billionaires? And you said 2 cents. Let me just say what this is, because Elizabeth Warren is making a point of that. She says it's a modest tax. It's 2 cents on every dollar over $50 million in net worth. She says it goes up to 3 cents on anybody who has $1 billion. People are calling that confiscation. It's on wealth. It's not income.
Let's go back to Bernie Sanders for a minute.
Oh, and here's Bernie Sanders.
What the hell has he done for the little people? What jobs has he created?
Here's Bernie Sanders' press release. Sanders' plan would increase taxes on greedy companies. That's the press release. He says greedy companies. Go ahead.
Look, Bernie, Arthur, and I and Pat Farris started Home Depot 41 years ago. We have almost 500,000 people gainfully employed in that company today, all providing for their families, all building estates. We have 3,000 kids that started with us in the parking lot. That's the entry level. They're still with us, and they're multimillionaires today.
Wow. You've changed so many people's lives.
And they changed our lives.
Yes.
It was a symbiotic thing. Bernie, stop being a blowhard. Give us examples. You go for a job and you go to an interview for a job. Tell me your qualifications. Show me your experience in life where you've done this or that or the other thing. At least I'll be able to say, he's been there, he's done that, he can help.
Bernie is fighting for a Green New Deal, which is based off of the New Deal from FDR, which employed millions of people around this country. The idea of the Green New Deal is to move to renewable technology and energy, but also create all these awesome infrastructure jobs along with it. Not only that, he's for a job guarantee. Oh yeah? What jobs have you created? He's proposing plans to give everybody a job who wants one. Everybody. Like, you can't have it more backwards than what he's arguing here. Like, oh yeah? Show me that you want to create jobs. I proposed a plan that gives everybody a job who wants one. By the way, again, based off of FDR's vision. So that's ridiculous. And then also, dude, what has he accomplished? Well, let's show you some of what he's accomplished. Providing 9 million more Americans with primary health care, 2 million more with dental care, and 860,000 more with mental health services through a $12.5 billion expansion in community health centers. Raising the wages of 350,000 Amazon workers to at least $15 an hour. Increasing the wages of over 60,000 Disney workers to at least $15 an hour. Restoring $320 million in pension benefits to 130,000 IBM workers. 7 states and over 40 cities have passed $15 an hour minimum wage laws, which he has led the charge on. Passage of veterans legislation with John McCain providing $5 billion to hire more doctors and nurses to the VA. Passing of legislation ending our involvement in the Saudi-led war in Yemen. All right, I could go on here, but I'm not going to go on because a lot of this stuff is not just related to the economy, which is what Ken Langone is talking about. A lot of it's also related to foreign policy. But the fact of the matter is, the dude gets stuff done. He also has a nickname in D.C. It's called the Amendment King. He was brilliant at slipping in these awesome provisions into unrelated legislation, very progressive ideas that are good for people, average people. So he gets plenty done. And, go talk to one of those workers who got a raise at Amazon. Go talk to one of those workers who got a raise at Disney. Go talk to people who are marching on the front lines for for better health care, better benefits, higher wages. Go talk to the UAW striking workers where he was just marching with them not too long ago. So go talk to them. What has he done? What has he done? He's done a lot. He's done a lot more than you ever will. Now, by the way, the craziest thing about this is they have this victim complex like Bernie Sanders is coming to put them in the gulag. Dude, reel it in. You're not going to the gulag. You're getting, like, slightly higher taxes, and you're still going to be unfathomably wealthy, and you're just going to have to treat your employees a little bit better. You have to raise their wages a little bit. That's it. That's all we're talking about here. And they act like, no, he's so extreme by wanting everybody to have basic human decency. No, but he's not extreme, and you're an idiot, and you're, unveiling yourself as such. So, and finally, here's the last couple points. I like the argument from Maria Bartiromo, because Bernie was like, yeah, we shouldn't really have billionaires. That's kind of crazy. The counter argument was, but China has billionaires. That's the best you could come up with? China also has a one-party state. China also has concentration camps for, the Uyghur Muslims. Should we have those? No! But China has them. Do we want China to have all of them? Billionaires, that's not like the idea that this is like an indicator of a healthy society. There were old school empires where it's like the royals, the oligarchs, the elites had everything and everybody else was fighting for the crumbs. If I'm not mistaken, back during like the Malian Empire, I think that the leader of Mali was like the wealthiest person who has ever existed. Like, go back to Libya under Gaddafi. Like, he had all the money. So he's a billionaire. Is that a good thing by definition? Like, no, the people are struggling. I mean, this is so obvious. I can't believe I even have to say it. You can't use billionaires as like, well, this is an indicator of a healthy society. If anything, you could argue the opposite, that the more extreme the income and wealth inequality becomes, the less stable the society is, and the worse off everybody is. And again, all he's arguing for is slightly higher taxes on the wealthy and treating workers with a bare minimum level of respect. That's so basic that it's mind-numbing that anybody would be dumb enough to actually vocalize opposition to it. And then finally, Maria Bartiromo brings up Elizabeth Warren and her, she wants a 2% tax on net worth above $50 million. And she goes on to say, people are calling this confiscation. A 2% tax on wealth above $50 million. Stop and think about that. That is so much money. And if you do the 2% tax, they're still going to have so much money. They're whiny little bitches. Imagine these people had to, live a day in the life of a real working class American. Again, I've told this story before on air, but one of the hardest working people I ever knew lived like at the poverty line or maybe just below it. Dude worked 3 jobs. And, he worked harder than anybody I've ever seen in my life, and he was barely getting by, if getting by at all. And these guys are going to bitch about a 2% tax over $50 million. Do you not realize that nobody relates to what you're saying? Sure, there's like a 25% or maybe 35% block that are just bobbleheads and they'll just go along with whatever the hell you say. Sure. But the overwhelming majority of people are going to watch a segment like this and be like, you're kind of reaching and you kind of sound silly. On this one, I'm with Bernie Sanders. So just understand that. They've gotten too comfortable in that bubble of theirs. And now they start to smugly believe that everybody agrees with their idea of a system and how it should function and what justice is. But people don't agree with you. And you're so used to not making arguments in favor of your position that now when you have to, there's nothing there. The best you could come up with was like, what has Bernie ever done? A hell of a lot more than you ever will. That's for sure. And the other best argument you could come up with is, but China has billionaires? Yeah, the model society I've always wanted to aspire to be. China. Come on, man. Jeez, oh, they're so stupid. This is not going to work. And this is why a general election between Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump is over. If Bernie gets through the primary, there's no chance for Trump. It's over. There's no way. Because oftentimes with these, like Fox News and Fox Business and CNBC and all these networks, like the stuff that they can go after the other Democrats for, there is a little bit of there. Like, for example, the Ukraine scandal with Biden and his son and $50,000 a month. Like, there's enough there where people watch that and go, yeah, that seems kind of sketchy. But this is the best they have to go after Bernie Sanders. The best they have to go after Bernie Sanders is like, you're wrong. Billionaires are good and you haven't done anything, poopy head. You think this is going to hold up? It's crumbling right in front of our eyes.